Hello, welcome to the Caz and Daz show. It is the 21st of January 2021, and it is episode 11 of the Caz and Daz show. Today, we are going to talk about the WBBL final being called off, EuroLeague women, Euro Cup women, and of course, we make our journey to the only place that truly matters on this and any earth, Caz's Corner. So without further ado, let's introduce the two guests. We have two guests. I mean, they're not guests. They are hardened regulars of the Caz and Daz experience. It's Caz and, of course, Mikey. How are we both doing today?
Good, thank you, Darren. It's a bit cold up here in Manchester and snowing, but good.
I think I've still got my window open. I don't know. I can't see it behind my beautiful, completely perfect backdrop.
I'm enjoying this. I like it.
Yeah, apologies for like the fuzz around my head, but yeah, we'll go with it. We'll see what the people will decide. Mikey, how are we doing, my friend?
Yeah, good. Attempting to multitask with obviously games still going on. So if we appear distracted, it's probably why.
Yes. I've just had to mute the TTT Riga game that currently in my ears. Big stuff. Chester Donnelly in there as always. Appreciate it. Hi, Caz and Daz, and also hi to everybody. Hi to you, Chester. Now, if you want to know more about EuroLeague women, well, obviously you're in the right place. You're watching the Caz and Daz show. That's just regular. On our YouTube channel, where you're maybe watching this, we put up a couple of videos at the start of the week just to give you a bit of a recap of what happened in the first round of bubble fixtures and a bit of an overview of the teams. So if you've not seen them already, we'll pop a link in the chat in a minute. And yeah, go and check them out. Are they a little bit out of date? Who's to say? Are they really worth watching? Yes, they are. So yeah, go and check those out. Right, that's our little plug out of the way. Let us begin. Ooh, question for Caz: how many hours of basketball have you watched this week?
A lot. Let me think. I've been multitasking as well, watching 3 games at once on Tuesday. I think it was. That was quite a interesting experience, and then I think I got lost. I'm going to go with 9. No, it's not enough, is it? Maybe that's not enough. I mean, I do work full time, so 9 is probably about right.
Sounds all right. Mikey, what about yourself? I assume it's an enormous amount.
Yeah, it's a decent amount. Probably 20 plus.
Yeah, probably. That sounds all right. I don't know. I've just been dipping in and out of games just constantly. So full, complete games, I'll be honest, not so many, but just dipping in and out. Like, where's the story? Morning glory. That's been my MO this week. Though what I will do next week is go back over, and there'll be a few choice games that I want to really properly deep dive, and maybe there's a feature in that. Michael Hansen Morris, Greg, at some point down the journey. Who knows? Who's to say? Mikey and Greg. The news is on the screen. Didn't even realise. Let's start with the big story in British basketball this week. It is, of course, the WBBL final is cancelled. Well, it's postponed, but cancelled is more dramatic. Cancelled. Clickbait. And it's thrown up a couple of really interesting wrinkles. So somebody or a couple of people maybe within the Leicester Riders organisation, they are unable to take part in the final due to COVID. The other semi-finalist, of course, remember, Sevenoaks have had to also withdraw from the final. They were replaced by Wildcats, the team that they beat. Cardiff are currently shut down as well at the moment, so no games for them. They can't play the final, so the final has had to be postponed to a date, basically at the earliest convenience of both teams. So we don't have the final. Now, the interesting wrinkle is I think we can safely assume Cardiff will not be in the rearranged final. But who takes the spot? Is it Sevenoaks, the team that made their way there originally, or is it Nottingham, the team that were supposed to play this weekend coming? What's the fair decision? I've got my ideas, but let's throw it out to you in the chat firstly. What do you think? Let us know. Get involved. Be like Chester and let us know. I'm going to kick off with, if it's all right with Mikey, we're going to go to Caz first. Save the spice for just a moment there, Mikey. Caz.
Yeah, so it's interesting this, isn't it? Because obviously, when Sevenoaks and Leicester were due to play, and Sevenoaks, they withdrew from the cup. So whether there's something in the wording of the nature of what they did that they themselves withdrew, does that leave the place open for Nottingham, and it's just going to be Leicester and Nottingham whenever it is rearranged? But then the reason that Sevenoaks had withdrawn was because of concerns around COVID and catching it, I guess, and things like that. And they weren't willing to put themselves in a position where they could be at risk, which is completely fair enough. So then if the timing of it is rearranged, that's kind of essentially what I guess they would have wanted in the first place. So because they've put the health and the thing, that first, they're essentially being penalised for it, aren't they? But because it's a tough situation, really. I don't know what the answer would be as to what they're going to go through. I imagine it will still stay as Leicester Nottingham because that was the scheduled game that's been postponed.
Well, I mean, I've got the solution. Like, it's not.
I do like your solution.
The solution. I've not said it yet, Caz. Like, what are we doing? Stop peeking behind the curtain over here. Okay, it's over here. Mikey, come on, hit us with that spice.
I think Caz is right. Like, the wording of the original press release, it leaves it even more open because it's withdrawn from the cup final on X date, not withdrawn from the cup, from the final on X date. So, however, I think the issue is what is the route for Sevenoaks resuming play? Because realistically, I don't think by the 8th of when's the first when is the international night? So the 13th, 14th is the first weekend back in theory, back from the international break. I don't think the situation with COVID will really have changed here much by then. Government were always saying around half-term week, which I think is due in for the 15th week. Daz, you'll probably know more than me, your school teacher.
Am I thought I was a basketball commentator and the leading voice for FocusHoops, but there we go.
Oh, you don't know when half-term is. That's helpful.
It's around Valentine's. No, I actually don't know when half-term is. It's around Valentine's. But yeah, it'd be amazing if the situation in schools is getting any better before Easter.
No, but assuming things the way they're planning out, that there won't be any changes from the government's end by the middle of Feb, I can't see either Sevenoaks or Mystics resuming on the 13th, 14th. So if the plan is to play the cup final as soon as possible after the international break, then it will have to be Nottingham. If it gets pushed back, then does it open the door? But the issue is when are Sevenoaks coming back? And that's a question that, quite honestly, I'd imagine that Len and the whole Sevenoaks team don't know yet. Therefore, you have to presumably plan with Nottingham being in the final. But it's not, there's not a perfect solution either way. And I know what you're going to say. But the problem is that game's already been played.
There's only one thing to say. There's only one solution. And it's time for a play-in tournament. That's right. A final three. Okay? Oh, excuse my hand. Again. This is not maybe the most authentic thing in the world. Anyway, play-in tournament. Wherever they're playing it, let's just say, for the sake of argument, they're playing it in London. Let's say they're playing it in London, right? On the Saturday, Sevenoaks, Nottingham, go head-to-head, Sky Television. Imagine the one time it's ever going to happen. The WBBL Cup Final play-in, okay? Give you the big build-up. Get your boy on the mic or somebody else. Then the winner plays the next day against Leicester. Leicester have the advantage of not having to have played extra games. But, I mean, why not? Currently, they're looking at playing either no teams or two teams. So why not? And also, yeah. Now, Chester, I like, again, Chester Donnelly coming in with the hits. I have no idea. This sounds like a legal question, but probably no one can afford lawyers. Absolutely. Why are we wasting valuable time, resources, money, effort, energy on lawyers when we can be earning money by putting on another game that the people want to see? Is it going to spicy? Yes. Have there been some spicy tweets going out into the ether? Yes. Is it building and I'm going to use the word, it's a dirty word, but the word is narrative. Is it building it for this game? Why the hell not? Play the game. play the game. Is that probably going to be a solution? I would imagine almost certainly not. Is that the most fun and best solution, the best one for the fans? Yes, it is. How is it not the best? How is more top quality basketball not the best thing for the fans? And that's all and remember, that's how I look at a lot of conversations around basketball and sport, is from a fan point of view. Why is that not the best for their fans?
You really want me to answer that?
Of course I do.
Because the final's going to be worse quality. Because neither team will have prepped properly. It's unfair on Leicester that they don't know who they're playing till 16, 18 hours beforehand. You can't
They can prep two teams.
No, you don't at that level. You cannot prep for two teams the same as prepping for one.
But they know these teams. These teams are not strangers to them.
I've not played Seven Oaks yet.
Have they not?
No.
Oh, well. They can watch film. You've done this exact same thing back in the day.
Yeah, but I was playing for both teams, and the finals never as high quality because you don't have as much prep time. I also feel for the coaches that have to do the prep. Personally, been there, done that.
Yeah, but the stories that come out of it, Michael.
Yeah, but they've already played a playing game, and Seven Oaks won it by 2.
Okay.
Semi-final.
Play on a Friday. Friday, Sunday.
So Seven Oaks' semi-final win doesn't count for anything.
They quit the competition, or not, depending on the wording.
But only because of the circumstances around it at that date.
Yes, but
so if
Nottingham, so we're just going to be like, Nottingham, you've got this game. Oh, fantastic! Oh, no, Nottingham, you can do one, mate. So all the prep that they put in for this week counts for nothing. Like, where is it messy? Absolutely. So that's why I say Friday, Sunday, boom. We'll give them a day off. We'll give them Saturday.
I tell you something that I found disappointing with this is that the game was going to be shown on Sky and it was going to be a great advert for the women's game. Obviously, it's cancelled, so they've replaced it with a BBL game, one of the men's games. Could we not have maybe moved one of the women's games to Sunday to show it?
Well, the report that Mark Woods put out was that no one wanted to play on Sunday against Nottingham. Don't know how accurate that is. Mark's normally got his nose on what's going on, so I would assume that's the case. But again, there's been games moved around this weekend. Nottingham are now playing in Essex on Saturday, so that not have been Sunday. Oakland's Newcastle was big buzzer beater for Galatasaray. Anyway, I'll come on to that. What was I saying? Lost my own chain of thought there.
You could have moved the game to Sunday.
Oh yeah, Oakland's Newcastle Saturday, so could one of them doubled up and played the Sky game on Sunday? Because I think originally it was Nottingham Newcastle in the league on Saturday, which obviously got postponed because Nottingham win the cup final. So could Newcastle have done a double header down in the south and gone from Oakland's to Worcester to play? I don't know, but it is a shame that we've lost the Sky game. The only hope is that the final, when it's shown, can be put on Sky as well. But how that will work, I don't know. Will Sky put a specific crew and everything on for just a final? Or does it have to double up with a BBL game, in which case that's going to be a Friday 5 o'clock tip for a final? Don't know how I feel about that.
I think if you can get it on Sky,
you play it at Friday.
With a Friday at 5 o'clock, yeah.
But what the audience is at that time, I don't know.
It's so disrespectful to the competition.
Well, no.
I understand not getting on Sky. 5 p.m. on a Friday. Like, we used to watch the BBC women's games 5 p.m. on a Friday or 5:30 on a Friday. And it's just embarrassing. Like, it's just, I get it. But it's like, disrespectful is what it is. It's not embarrassing. Embarrassing is not the word. Disrespectful is the word. Because it's like,
because the BBL games on a Friday at 5 o'clock on Sky.
Hey?
But not a cup final.
Not a cup final. And also, to be fair, during a pandemic. So that does change things a little bit because we've seen tip times.
Yeah, at any time.
2:30 on a Wednesday.
I've got 5 o'clock Thursday next week. There's a WBBL game now.
that's a weird time. Like 5 p.m. Thursday, like people are still working. Like, do you want people to watch these
from
games?
home?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, my day job, I can't sit there watching basketball. I wish I could.
Well, yeah, but ultimately, as long as the final is on Sky, I don't mind. But it's making sure that it is on Sky that might be the challenge, because the Sky games are Friday nights, and the only exceptions were penciled in with the cup final and a trophy final. So it'll be interesting to see how the league work it. But I'm sure they'll come up with a
Joe, I'd love to see them do your idea of a Friday night, but have the men's game be the early tip. Yeah, and that's the best solution if we're going to do down this road. Sorry, Mikey, I spoke over you.
No, yeah, it would work because you probably need longer to turn around between a final than you do a league game because of presentations and stuff. But I don't know what the Sky schedule looks like in February, but the other option is the men's international break. Albeit the BBL don't seem to be taking it from what I remember. I seem to remember there's fixtures all through the international break. But if there's not a BBL game penciled in on Sky that week, that the women's game takes it.
Yeah, I like that idea.
During I think that's late January, late Feb. I think the men's window's the 22nd to the 2nd of March or something. But I need to check that.
It's around the 20th, 21st, whatever that week is.
Okay, week before, yeah. Makes sense.
So, any more on the cup final?
Nope.
No. So we'll agree that my idea was the best idea. Right, perfect. We move on. Nothing? I thought we were going to get a bit more Mikey.
No, I'm watching games. So
He's just got the games. He's got the games. All right. Caz, let me just... Mikey, BRB. Boom. Talk to us.
So, in our little bubble breakdowns, I picked this as a game of Group A to watch. And it was the game of Group A to watch because it was amazing. Did you see it?
Yeah.
So, we've got Arike Ogumawale playing for Dinamo Kursk. And we've got Erica Wheeler playing for Izmit. Izmit haven't yet played. This was their second game. Sorry, they hadn't played in the first round of the bubble. This was their second game. Dinamo Kursk, not having the best game. Going into the fourth quarter, they are down 4 with 3 minutes 30 left. Arike Ogumbawale has gone 0 for 7 the whole game, played 14 minutes, looked like she got benched. And then the next 3.5 minutes, Arike Ogumbawale comes on and takes over. 13 points in 3.5 minutes. The whole of the team's points. Outscored Izmit 13-5 by herself, and they won. 65-61, which takes Dinamo to 2-1 in the table and still gives them a chance to qualify, which it didn't look like they had after the end of the first bubble. So this was just fun. The last 5 minutes certainly, but if you watch the whole game back in context and see just what Arike did to will her team to win and to get them through, it was just an incredible performance. And it's like what we've seen her do in the WNBA, playing for Dallas. She can just take over and score when she wants to, and she's not afraid of shooting and missing, and then she'll just take the next shot and it'll go in. So absolutely game of the week to watch. Go back and watch it, or go back and watch the last quarter.
Is it your game of the week so far, Mikey?
Probably. I mean, we've had a few good ones, but on the whole, actually, they've not had super competitive games as much as we probably wanted for Europe. That's not just obviously EuroLeague, but the Euro Cup that started as well. That said, I think while we're talking, we might end up with the game coming on right now down the stretch that might overtake that. Borj and Galatasaray are in a really good game at the moment, so that might pop it by the time we get off air.
Angel McCourtry currently has 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. What a signing! What a wonderful addition to be able to just be like, we lost Seawell. Oh, Angel McCourtry, perfect. used to played 4 seasons for Fenerbahce, obviously the big rivals of Galatasaray. The other game that I was thinking about as potential game of the week would be Arca Gdynia Asphalt Feminin. Just chucking that one out there. Also, I don't know if we've spoken about them. Well, let's just dive into each group. I suppose that would be a good way of going about things. Group A. Just what are our takeaways from Group A so far? So, just the story so far with Group A. If I just stop goofing around, there we go. We've got Perfumeris Avenida top with a 4-0 record. They've got 8 points. That is important. We'll get to that. Dynamo Kursk 2-2, 6 points. Nadezhda 1-3, 5 points, and Izmit 0-2, 2 points. What jumps out to us from Group A? Sorry.
Avenida are a problem, and they are shooting a ridiculous percentage from 3. They went 51% from 3 on Tuesday, 13 of 25, and Katie Lou Samuelson 29 points Tuesday, 25 points tonight against an absolute massacre against Nadezhda. 55 points, I think. They won by, and they look so together. They've got Tiffany Hayes, the Samuelson sisters, Sylvia Dominguez, and they've just got like shooters. They're just so strong from outside the arc, but they've also got Tiffany Hayes and players that can play inside as well. The ball movement is fantastic, and they just look really strong.
They were ridiculous. Like, what was it? 23 after less than 10 minutes?
23-5, yeah.
Is that what it ended at the first quarter? Just ridiculous. And
there's a reason they're 20-0 in the Spanish league.
Yeah. And their points differential so far after 4 games is plus 119, which is not bad.
It's not shabby.
I was going to say I was kind of impressed by Izmit. I quite like some of what I saw from them, but yeah, it's looking rough so far. So are they yet to play? Have they played Nadezhda yet? That's my question.
Not yet, no.
No.
I think the problem with Izmit is in both games they've been leading at halftime or beyond, and they've not been able to keep it together for the full game. And maybe that's because I don't know. This is their first time it's the first time in EuroLeague or Euro Cup. It's the first window for them because they didn't play in December. I mean, they've been playing together in the Turkish league, so they should know each other. But maybe it's a different kind of just vibe to everything. So maybe they're sort of still getting used to that. But Erica Wheeler's doing fantastic. She's playing really well, and she's exciting to see. And they've got a centre from Brazil, Clarissa dos Santos, who is definitely someone to watch.
Mikey, any Group A thoughts? We know that you're a big Avenida fan.
Yeah, no, I think Caz got it right. But the other thing with Izmit is they're not exactly doing great in the Turkish league this year. They're about 500, I think. I'm just trying to pull up their league record. Yeah, they're 9-8 in the Turkish league, so they're currently 7th, which is normally unusual. You normally see the EuroLeague teams obviously rise to the top domestically, but they've had a bit of a struggle this year, even domestically. So maybe they aren't as strong. But obviously with COVID and other things, this year is a bit of an odd year. But no, Avienda look great. Offensively, obviously, anytime you score 3 digits in EuroLeague, you're doing something right. And perhaps on paper, they're not massively scary, but they seem to be really clicking with each other and maximising what everyone can do, which is great.
Okay, let's dip down into Group B, unless there's any more for Group A. Oh, do we think the top 2 are going through Avenida and Dynamo Kursk?
I'm going to say yeah, because Dynamo have got Izmit left to play.
But yeah, I mean, Izmit are really the team that can knock them out.
That's true, yeah.
Kursk only won by 4 today, so an Izmit win by 5, and if they sweep the other team, then they're both on 3-3, and Izmit go through. So, and it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible.
So I think that's the wait and see group, essentially Group A.
Yeah, definitely.
Their games don't get completed till mid-Feb, so that might be the one wait and see thing we have carrying over to February.
Yeah,
I don't think
take place in Orenburg. Sorry, carry on.
I was just going to say, I don't think it's Nadezhda. I think it's Izmir or Dynamo Kursk. I don't think Nadezhda have got the strength to do it.
No, I don't think
Although Monique Billings wasn't playing today, and I'm not sure that I didn't see any mention of injury or anything, but that obviously.
I mean, if she's available, you play her.
Yeah.
Or happens.
Unless maybe it was a schedule loss, and they're aiming to win the other games. They thought even with her, they thought we've got no chance against Avenida. Don't know.
Yeah, they just need results to go their way because obviously Kursk got the head-to-head because of the result on Tuesday. So they'd need Kursk to lose a split, lose to Izmit as well to still qualify. So they are in a bit of a bad spot.
All right, let's move on to Group B. Group B, the story is Asvel Feminine at the top, 4-1. Fenerbahce also 4-1 in second. Then Usk 2-3 record, and down at the bottom, Arka Gdynia 0-5. So I think we can safely say Arka Gdynia are not making it out. What's the story? What's the story in this group, in Group B?
I want to see Fenerbahce and Avenida just have a shootout. So I've been really. I know Leon are top of the group at the moment. I've been really impressed with Fenerbahce, and I've been impressed watching them in the Turkish league. They've got Satu Sabali, Kayla McBride, Jasmine Thomas, Kia Stokes, Kia Vaughan. I think I've forgotten someone else. But again, they're like Avenida in the sense that they've got everything covered. They've got the outside shooting and the inside game. The game on Tuesday, Kayla McBride, 6 straight threes. They've not lost in the Turkish league, and their game against Lyon, I think it was, in round 1 in December was the first game they've lost all season. And I just think they look really strong. I could see them getting into the Final Fours.
Sorry. Comment on Group A from Chester Donnelly. Group A is the best.
It is.
Stephanie Mavunga has impressed me for Dynamo Kursk. Caz or Mikey, do you want to talk a bit more about Mavunga?
She's been really solid. Obviously, with kind of the benching of Enrique, it was bizarre. I wouldn't say they were just trying to hold on in the game, but they were just trying to keep the gap, and really her inside presence really helped settle down. And Izmit really struggled in the third quarter defensively, and I think she had a big part of that. She's not been spectacular, but she has been solid, and perhaps the reason they snuck out the win today.
Definitely.
Sorry, Caz, we completely just steamrolled over you. Still talking on Group B. Do we think this is the top two sewn up?
It's done. It's mathematically done, is it not?
Leon won, Fenerbahce.
If it's not officially,
yeah, it's got to be.
It's all done. Oh yeah, Kursk have played Fenerbahce twice. Yes.
Sorry. So they basically tomorrow's game, yeah, because neither team can have more than 2 losses. So tomorrow's game is for the group.
Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm just.
So you're going to want an. Oh no, they can't meet in the next round. The bracket, we do have the bracket. We'll look at the bracket later.
Yeah, it's B and D, isn't it?
I think so. Yes.
So they'll basically both teams are trying to avoid. I say avoid. Obviously, it's not a great quarterfinal draw, but obviously we'll get onto them. Spiron look great, undefeated. So both teams trying to avoid that tomorrow. That game's early as well. I think it's 3:00 our time tomorrow. So
anything else from Group B to mention? Really, like Mikey rightly says, corrects me on. The table's done and dusted. It's just a case of who's going to win out. Is it going to be Asphalt or is it going to be Fenerbahce? And that game, like you say, 3 p.m. tip-off our time tomorrow. So definitely check that one out. In the Prague Kralovka Arena, which I find fascinating. Is it like a theatre? Because it looks like a university massive lecture hall with a basketball at the bottom of it, basketball court at the bottom of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is an impressive looking place.
A funky looking place. If you've ever been to whatever the main lecture hall is in Anglia Ruskin, you'll know what I mean. Okay, Group C, the group of Chowder. You've got a Ekaterinburg 5-0. They have qualified to the quarterfinals. Spa Girona 3-2. Beretta Family Skio 1-3. TTT Riga 0-4. Firstly, my disappointment with TTT Riga. I don't know. I don't know why. I thought they'd offer a bit more, though. But I mean what I said in the preview. I think in another group they are way more competitive. Their plus minus is only -69, considering that you're playing against Ekaterinburg, the most disgustingly assembled team of any sport in the history of sport. Girona and Skio, who are two very strong sides in their own right. I think that's actually really impressive. But on the other hand, they're bottom of the group for a reason. Like I say, Ekaterinburg have just not monstered, but handled everybody they've played pretty comfortably. And then it's going to come down to Girona and Skio, I think. Is that fair to say, or am I off base?
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, Riga Skio is still going on, but it's a 12-point game, and really Skio have been in control since the second quarter. First quarter was competitive, but then Skio really, I don't know what this quarter score was in quarter two, but it felt like a double digit. 23-11 second quarter. And Riga have come back in the last 3-4 minutes. They've closed the gap, got it back into single digits very briefly. Riga are probably the disappointment of the whole tournament. I mean, the thing is, a lot of their losses, obviously, outside of Ekaterinburg, were close in the first bubble, but this time they've not really been close. Like, Girona blew them out the water on Tuesday. That was like a 25-point game, and tonight's not really been competitive after the first quarter. Again, on paper, they've not signed the best group of Americans that maybe they've had in previous years. Jess Thomas has been in foul trouble tonight as well, a little bit, but she's again, you're looking at her, she's 6 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 turnovers. She's a
big question mark for me. Like, the way she carries herself in especially in those first couple of games, is like she's the guy. But then there's something that wasn't quite clicking for me during the games for her. Chess Donnelly, Spa Girona were fearless against Ekaterinburg. I think that's how you've got to play Ekaterinburg. I think you've just got to go and try and beat him. Yeah, absolutely. I think just try and beat him. What have you got to lose? Like, it's a like has scheduled loss. It's just like you might as well just mark up an L right now.
It was odd though. I mean, we were watching the game down the stretch, and Girona had it to 7 with 2 minutes to go. I think it went to 10. Then they went and 1, and before the free throws, it was at the time it was 8 going to 7 with 2 minutes to go. They basically benched the whole starters, which is a bit of an odd time to do it. Like, if you're going to give it up, you give it up a bit earlier than 2 minutes to go, thinking about tomorrow. Yeah. But it's like, you don't often come back from down 7 with 2 minutes to go, but actually they ended up with a consecutive stops and a score. So they had the ball down 5 with 80 seconds to go. You score then, it's a 1 possession game. It doesn't quite seem right to be bringing in the bench at that spot. And when I mean bench, like, they're bringing in players that hadn't yet played in the game.
Greg and Pofu says Ekaterinburg are 10 deep even in a close game. Greg, you know the link to get into this broadcast, mate, if you fancy it. Chester Donnelly. What's he saying?
No, it was a big 3 in the Group D game.
Chester Donnelly says John Cole Jones and Britt Griner taking turns to boss the key. Absolutely. Fun fact, John Cole Jones went to high school with Brandon Peele, it would appear. I think they were classmates, according to Peele's Twitter the other day. So how much talent does one school want to produce? But yeah, those two are it's just absurd.
It's been good seeing Griner back, because obviously she left the Wubble, didn't she, halfway through the season? So she's not playing loads of minutes. She's about 15, 16 minutes a game, but she had 8 and 8 today.
Yeah, I mean, she's not really played since early mid-July.
August.
I think it. Oh, I think it might be. Oh no, it will be August. Whenever they lost to Dallas, I think that was pretty much her last game.
Oh, that was a good game.
Great game. It was a great game. Possibly my favourite game. Marina Maybury just. Mikey's seen some action live to Mikey.
It's effectively done. So Skio are up 8 with 6 seconds to go. So that'll be Riga out, and that'll set up tomorrow. And I'll get on to Group D in a second, but that game's just about done as well. So a couple of big results, because they were really the 2 games that were going to decide a lot today.
Okay, more when we get it from Mikey. Any more from Group C, or have we exhausted Group C?
Just sets up tomorrow, right? As long as Skio don't throw away a lead, that's for the second qualifying spot to play Avenida, most likely. And Verona won by 4, I think, the first time round. So again, we'll see this. I know we've always criticised in the past the head-to-heads and stuff in BBL and stuff, but this is effectively a head-to-head scenario tomorrow that Skio have to probably win by 5, I'd imagine.
I don't know who this we is, because I actually quite like the head-to-heads. It makes things nice and simple.
So yeah, we'll probably have to see the chase to scoreline tomorrow, depending on how the overall points difference works out. What the gap will be, 4 or 5.
I have a question.
Shoot.
Ekaterinburg won by 16 and 7 today. Are they just getting warmed up, or are they vulnerable?
I mean, they looked vulnerable today at times. And I think if you go based on the Spanish league so far, obviously Girona aren't the best team in Spain.
No, true.
But are we saying if those meet up that gap's going to be closer than 7? Very possibly. They didn't look comfortable really often today. It was always holding in that 8 to 10 point range.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, Girona played great and made a lot of shots, but there are times where they missed. You can't say they're going to win everything on paper they are, but again, it's trying to get everyone to click. How does Griner settle into a role if she is only going to play 18 to 20 minutes a game because they think John Crowell Jones is a better player? How does that affect the chemistry and stuff down the stretch? Anything's possible. And in this year of all years, anything is possible. You wipe half the team out with a COVID case 2 days before quarterfinal, and you're in trouble.
Don't say that.
but at the year to happen, it would be they didn't look, they haven't looked amazing in the last 2 games. Yeah,
true. That's fair. I mean, could they just be coasting because they know the job's pretty much done? There we go.
Maybe, yeah.
Do players of that standard have a coast button in EuroLeague when it is their more competitive games? Because obviously in the Russian leagues, they're winning by 80. It's
true. I mean, I think some of these, not to slander anybody from Phoenix, but I think some of these players might.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Maybe they want to keep it close. Maybe they're like, we're sick of blowing teams out. Let's make it a bit more exciting.
We'll go to Group D in EuroLeague Women. Sorry, I was reading the words bubble breakdown. Sopron Basket 5-0, just dead exciting. Galatasaray 2-2 record. They're in second. Basket Landes or Lande, they are 1-3, and Bourges Basket are 0-3 at the bottom of the group. Now, my game to watch for this.
Wrong.
We're just going to remove Michael from the street now. We'll bring him back. My games
they've just won. That's why you're wrong.
Borges and Lander. I didn't realize, and I'll hold my hands up. I didn't realize how good Sopron were. Because I saw Galatasaray 0-2. I was like, and I didn't realize that Sopron were the truth. Like, this team is ridiculous. Very, very strong. Not huge plus minus, but they've just got it done. Repeatedly got it done. So I'm impressed, though. I really like this Galatasaray roster and uniform. Oof. But yeah, I'll hold my hand up. That said, I think it's still possible for me to be right, as I often am with things, because one of those sides could go through. It sounds very, very quiet. Have people stop speaking? Caz, speak.
No, I like Sopron. I like Gabby Williams and her massive block. Ooh.
Chester Donnelly says Jonquil Jones is a bit better than Brittany Griner. Ooh, I happen to agree. Did I misread it? Did Jonquil Jones go 5 of 7 from beyond the arc in a game?
No idea.
I feel like that happened, and I feel like I read it about 4 times to make sure. I'll check my notes. We've got a hashtag from Greg. She is right now, plus I'm not convinced Griner is fully healthy. Still. And I mean, to be fair, we know that she was hurt. Well, we don't know, but we assumed, and I think we'd heard whispers that she wasn't quite right in the wobble. So yeah, we maybe. Or in the, I saw it referred to something else as the WNBA, which I quite like.
I like that.
It's quite good. Whoever came up with that, you're good. Right, Group D. Right, come on. Chester Donnelly, again. We appreciate it, but derailing conversations. Group D. Sopron and Galatasaray. I'm guessing those are the two that we think are going through. Oh, Mikey with the hard disagreement.
Well, Galatasaray have just lost.
Oh, what have they?
Galatasaray, that's why when I was saying Don was saying Borges were 0-3, I was wrong. I said wrong because Borges had just beaten Galatasaray.
Life
87-80. So Group D is chaos at the bottom. Because you've now got Galatasaray 2-3, Borges 1-3, Basketland Des 1-3, and I can't remember who's got who left to play. I think Galatasaray have got Borges again.
It's time. Oh, there it is. Boom. So this is the table as it stands.
Have they updated it with the game that's literally just finished?
They have not.
No, and those two sides replay each other tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
Oof, do they? Okay.
So if Borges win that, then they go Galatasaray out, correct? I suppose not technically, because you've got 3 teams at 2 and 4.
If Landes beat Borges by, what do they need to beat them by?
Yeah, put it this way, it's going to get tricky.
They only need to beat them by 4. No, wait. No, Landes just need to win. If Landes beat Borges, that will put them.
They've got to play once or twice.
They've got one more game against Borges.
Right, I'm going to go through the group. Yeah, it's got. Put it this way,
it's going
to get very tricky.
So that's just an L. So that's just a loss.
I
don't like that.
You guys talk about your love for Spiron a minute, and I'll work it out. Because Galatasaray, if they'd won that game, from the maths I've done before we came live, they were in. But now they've lost. It's going to get a little bit messy.
Yes. Group D Arena is a women's basketball club's arena. It is nice and WBBL arena. Shows how far behind France we are. Can't disagree with that. It's a great looking gym. I really like the corners. There's a few gyms around Europe that have. If you're a football fan and you've seen Sampdoria Stadium, you'll know what I mean. Where it's just you've got it sort of like, I don't really know. It's like you've got a brick, right? And then you've just dug seating out into this massive rock, and you've got corner. And behind one of the baskets, it's like this big, deep arced fan stand. Chester knows what I mean. It looks amazing. I can't imagine how mad that place would be going if they were playing against Landes tomorrow in front of a full house. And again, I don't like doing that because I think it's a pointless bit of fantasy. However, on this one occasion, I reserve the right to say, imagine if that was loaded full of fans. That would be amazing. I worry about people's hearing in that bit because it's got that. It's like the Sydney Opera House just plonked onto a basketball court. I don't know. It looks amazing. I'm excited for it.
And that's that's another interesting thing, isn't it? These teams are playing without fans, and could some of the results go a bit differently if there were fans there? Because Avenida have been playing in Salamanca in their hub. Their fans are usually like crazy and loud. So imagine how many more threes would be going.
Okay, yeah, but maybe not. What if? Right? The pressure would have been too much.
Yeah, and it puts them off. Maybe they're like, I can't hear. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
That's an interesting one. I put in the chat the other day, which if you want to know what the chat's like, get on our Discord, and then we'll start using the Discord about box out, because you can sometimes hear coaches, sometimes not. It's quite inconsistent with where they have the audio pick up from. But hearing coaches shouting box out, to me, just seems a bit pointless because it's like, obviously you should know to box out. You've been doing the same thing for 10, 20 years by this point, basketball player. But apparently not. Apparently players just forget to box. Caz, do you remember to box out?
I don't like to play down low. I like to run around at the top. But no, I wouldn't forget to box out when I have done. Maybe it's just maybe it's I need to say something. let me just shout my encouragement. And they're all like, we know. What are you on about?
Exactly. They do. They should know. Caz, who stood out for you with this Sopron team?
Gabby Williams. Did I say? Yeah, Gabby Williams. Obviously playing for Chicago in the WNBA. She's just been really consistent. She's a really good player. She was injured, I think, a few games in the summer, so we didn't actually see her very much, if I'm remembering right. So it's fun to get to see her. And she had a massive block that is awesome, but I can't remember who they were playing. It was just get out of here.
Tuesday.
It was the first one they played.
So whoever they played on Tuesday, we'll go and check. Jelena Brooks, also, she's been class. She's been really quite tremendous. Chester Donnelly says, the way the Russian coaches shout at the players on timeout shocked me a little bit. You haven't seen anything. This has been gentle, okay? These Russian coaches have been going easy on their players. Let me... I'm going to find you a link, Chester. This is my little gift. This is my gift to you. I will find you a link of the Fenerbahce coach shouting at Gigi Dutome.
The Nadezhda coach earlier didn't look very happy when he was explaining his game plan.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he wasn't happy. He was almost so annoyed. He was speechless. He didn't quite know what to say, did he? He took about 25 seconds to get into the huddle, said about 10 words, and then couldn't figure out what else to say, apart from switch ball screens, which then Avienda then destroyed on the next two possessions. So, yeah, I suppose down 30 after 12 minutes, you've not got a lot of hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are... Greg is on the same wavelength as me. Just wait until you see an Obradovic timeout. Chester, in the chat, I've put a link to Obradovic. When Zlajeko Obradovic, I apologize if I said that name wrong, has no chill, best basketball coach in the world. The man is an animal when it comes to taking apart his players. Like I said, this has been gentle in comparison. Though the Kursk coach, she just seems really angry all the time. I don't blame her. I think her side have somewhat underperformed. So, yeah. reasonable. Mikey, you went off track.
Yeah. So realistically, all three teams could qualify for that second spot. Most likely, Landers are out. They would realistically they have to win tomorrow against Sopron to have a shot. Because of the way Galatasaray kind of hammered them both times. So realistically, the route is Bourges have to win out for them to qualify, and Galatasaray just need to win tomorrow or Bourges to split, which means win and then lose to Landes. But so really, it's probably looking between Bourges and Galatasaray, and obviously that rematch is tomorrow. So, and it was a close game throughout. Bourges won the first quarter by 5, Galatasaray won the second by 2, won the third by 6. They were up 3 points going into the fourth, and then Bourges won the final quarter 26-16.
That's a bit of a slap, that is.
A couple of big threes down the stretch for Bourges. Ellen Elderbring hit a big one to put them up 9 with about 45 seconds to go, which was kind of the dagger. But yeah, that really opens up the group. And presuming if they can repeat, you'd probably say Bourges are favourites to qualify. Tomorrow is kind of a coin flip, but having just won tonight, they've got that momentum straight going into the rematch.
And then who's their last game against? The last game again is against Landes
on Sunday. Landes is done by then. If they lose tomorrow, Landes are done. So
forget, this is a local derby. These are the top 2 teams in France this season. Yeah,
I don't know if they've played in the league. But obviously, the first game was a 1-possession game, from what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just pulling up.
It was a 3-point game.
They Bourges beat Landers 10-3 in the league by 5. 66-61 in the league on the 9th. So that was last Saturday.
I want to say yes, 2 Saturdays ago.
Yeah. You'd probably say Bourges got the slight momentum, and Landis haven't looked good in this last couple of games. They've not really looked massively competitive in this bubble. So obviously Galatasaray being by 15 and 25, was it on Monday? About 25. I don't know what finals. I've not got but they've not looked good this bubble.
89-63.
Yeah, so 26. So yeah, they've not looked great so far. So a bit of a challenge for them. But I mean, would you be amazed if they pulled up the upset tomorrow?
Yes, I think I would actually.
I mean, it was only a 10-point game in the first leg, and Sopron are done. They've qualified in top, so they will play.
They have. The thing I'll say about that is winning is habitual, and you play the game. Like, this is my philosophy. I could be wrong, but I always look at what Aston Villa did in 2009-10 when they decided to throw the Europa League and it hurt them domestically. Winning is habitual. Try and win every game you can. Because if you lose that one game, that can throw you out of a rhythm. We've seen it with teams. We've seen teams absolutely steamroller, have falter, and then just drive off the tracks. So I say they go for it.
Yeah, but obviously talking the quarterfinals are when? March,
yeah. So they got loads of time, but
yeah.
Again,
so that's where the momentum you can say doesn't really carry through, because it's
but they've got a domestic season to go back to as well, don't they?
Yeah, I assume that. I would imagine they're steamrolling that off my knowledge of Hungarian basketball, which is slightly better than limited.
Okay, we'll take it. They are 17-0 this season.
There you go.
Those graphics are dead handy. Whoever made them did a great job. Okay, we're going to take a very quick break to hear from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Word from our sponsors, Notch, the mark of achievement, and we are very glad to have them on board with FocusHoops this year. They make fantastic bracelets that look super stylish, and really help you celebrate your sporting achievement. They've just launched a basketball collection and we're really excited to be on board with them. Let's imagine that you're a player. Let's say that you're Courtney Vandersloot. You got 18 assists in a single ball game and you want a notch and a bracelet to commemorate that fact. Well, you can do just that. Customize it to your team colors, put the year that you achieved it, and get it the exact size that you need. There are a number of the colors available. Or maybe you're a coach. Maybe you're the coach of a basketball team. Let's just say that you're the London Tyrannosaurus Rex. Your team wears red. You had the league's most valuable player, the MVP, and you want to celebrate that. You want to award them with a great looking notch bracelet. Well, you can do just that. And you can get it saying MVP on the notch itself. That's the charm. You can get the colour you want. Gold is one that I'd go for if we're commemorating the best player in the league. We could even get the team logo, if it's the Tyrannosaurus Rex, let's say, on there. And present it in a beautiful presentation case. Huge thanks for Notch for coming on board Focus Hoops.
Welcome back. We are back. Don't forget, check out Notch. Link is in the description for their basketball collection. If you play for a team, any team, they've pretty much got it for the UK. And if not, send them an email, send them a line, get in touch with them on Instagram. They can sort you out. Maybe adding that to their collection. Again, I wear mine pretty much every day, and I absolutely love it. Greg agrees with Daz because, of course, why wouldn't you? If winning is a habit, so is losing. And they've won, as far as we can work out, 22 games this season on the spin. Why would you jeopardize that? Okay, let's just dip briefly. Now, I hold my hands up. I know I haven't followed it super close. I know Mikey and Caz have had a bit more of an eye on it. Euro Cup, just any major highlights from Euro Cup that tipped off this week as well?
So the one team that sort of stuck out to me, I've just noticed a bit more of than usual, is Kayseri, who are in the Turkish League, and Ty Harris playing for them is having a really good competition so far. I think she had 25 points, 8 rebounds in the first game, and they were playing, I think, as we were going live here. She wasn't playing as much, but I think they're doing pretty well. I've enjoyed watching them in the Turkish League because they've got Jackie G playing for them, but she's not with them in Europe at the moment. And they also have, I've just forgotten her name. We've got another really good player that's been fun to watch as well.
Well, we enjoy a good team name. For example, the Strongest of Bolivia, or Always Ready, or Police Machine. Here's a team name for you. Invest in the West, Enia Gorzov. That's a hell of a name.
That isn't it?
That isn't him. Sorry, Cam.
Sorry, it's Kalani Brown I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
In the competition.
So, Temi Fagbenle, obviously GB legend. Temi Fagbenle, she absolutely went off the other day. What was it she had in the end? Why are you not telling me? Mikey, what did she get?
I think it was the first game. I can't remember, but this whole team is ridiculous. They are a EuroLeague team this year. There's no two ways about it. They're almost wiping the floor domestically in Italy. But just for those that may have missed their scores, Tuesday they won 53-118. And they followed that up on Wednesday with 116-63 victory. So in 2 games, they have scored that maths is... Oh, yeah, it is. They scored 234 points, and they've given up 116, so their basket difference is 118.
That's absolutely despicable.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a blowout, I'd say.
Jeez. Sorry,
so
I didn't
they
realize
are absolutely on fire. I've watched a couple of their domestic Italian games this year, and they've been great. Temi doesn't always play in them. That's how strong this the change of the roster is. I'll just pull up their roster just to but again, they are really on paper a a EuroLeague team this year, and I'd almost be surprised if they didn't win the whole thing. I know they've been rotating players in and out domestically as well, I think, because the rules are slightly different. But Asha Howard, Temi, Yvonne Anderson's been playing really well this year for them, and obviously domestically they've got some of the best domestic players in Italy, so they've been great. And yeah, they're probably your early Ion to win, but Valencia have also looked very good. I caught a little bit of their game on Wednesday. And again, another team that's done well domestically in Spain this year.
Yeah, they're currently second.
Yeah, so again, they're a EuroLeague, almost EuroLeague quality roster this year. So
yeah, they've got Laura Gil and Mary Gulch on their roster.
Yeah, so they're looking good in their group, but obviously it's a bit of a weird format. It's early because obviously you're only playing three group games, and so you've got the top two in each group plus 3 runners up. Three of the best 4th place teams, and most of the teams have got 4 in. I think one group B lost Wnba from Sweden because they had COVID cases again. Albeit they did play domestically tonight, but so that group's only got 3 teams in it. But yeah, you'll end up with some frantic mathematics come tomorrow to try and work out the best 3rd place teams in that group.
Caz, has anything stood out to you from Euro Cup women?
No, I've not anymore. I need to watch some more games. It's hard.
Yeah, so much games
going on.
Yeah, it's like you didn't want to put one of these tournaments on last weekend or last week, but it is great. It is great. We love it.
And all on the FIBA YouTube channel. So all get Euro Cup and EuroLeague, everything on there.
And again, really UK friendly times. Like the tip off is 3 p.m. The first tip off of the day is 3 p.m. The last tip off of the day, some days has been 7-8 p.m. So pretty friendly times.
So Euro Cup tips even earlier, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, Euro Cup had the first game in Euro Cup was 12 p.m. No, 11. It was 11 o'clock our time.
We've got Valencia. Valencia's group is tomorrow at 11, the first game. So there you go. You can watch basketball from 11 a.m. till about 9:40 tomorrow night straight if you wanted. There you go.
There you go. That's Mikey's day sorted. Don't know about the rest of us. I mean, am I wrong? Well, I might be. So I think that wraps us up with Europe. So that leaves us. Oh, hang on. That's much better. So before we voyage towards Caz's corner, is there anything from these shores that we need to talk about, Caz and or Mikey?
Obviously, we've had a couple of domestic games. Obviously, some cancelled as well. Obviously, I was at Nottingham last weekend for Nottingham Essex. Essex looked like they hadn't played in a long time, which is what it was. I think my main concern for them is defensively. They seem well off the pace, and for a lot of the game yesterday in the trophy, they're in the same boat with Barking Abbey. I think Barking had 51 points in the first half yesterday. Nottingham had 63 at half time on Saturday. So I am concerned about Essex on the defensive end, but they've got a couple of nice pickups. And then Leicester again looked dominant. What looked like obviously building into a cup final, but that didn't happen. But a very comfortable win, playing everyone up in Caledonia on the Saturday. They started KJ as well, which I thought was interesting. And she started well early. I think she had 8 points in the first quarter. And then they demolished Newcastle on Sunday. And we kind of said last week, I said that Newcastle may be the most disappointing team in the league. And again, they just didn't come out at home. You would have thought Leicester on a back-to-back, all this, they would have had a chance, and it was just a blowout. I think Leicester were up about nearly 30 points at half time. And that's having barely scored in the last few minutes of the second quarter. So, yeah, a little bit more concern in Newcastle. I know they've still got the odd injury, but on paper, it was pretty much everyone was back that we expect to see this year. And I'm slightly concerned for them going forward because you can't be putting up 30-point home losses to Leicester when they've got a back-to-back and you don't.
Last week, on this very show, I'm not going to run the tape because I don't have it to hand. But what did I say? I want to see more KJ. What did we see? More KJ. Influential. I'm just saying. No? Caz and Daz show not influencing people? Yeah, it is influencing people. That's right. So I'm not too sure. I don't think we mentioned it. Sorry, I've just seen a brilliant tweet from Steve Veer. You got the Bernie Sanders just sat there in his mittens, and the tagline is 7 Oak Suns in WBBL board meetings. I don't know how accurate that is, but it made me laugh. So I think the big news, Caledonia Pride have been forced into a 10-day self-isolation period. Game against Essex on Saturday is off, the fourth of their initial 5 fixtures to be postponed. So yet more postponements in our league. What do we? I don't know. How are we feeling about it right now?
I think it's just a case of those teams that can play, get some games in before the international breaks. We've got a couple on Saturday. I know Nottingham Barking is next Thursday at 5. And I know I was speaking to Lee Davey in the week that he was hoping he could get a game in on next weekend. So Durham will be eventually the last team to make their debut because obviously Oakland's will make it this weekend against Newcastle. And Durham were hoping to play Caledonia next Saturday because Barking have pulled out because of the international window, which I'm not quite sure how it works, but there's been some fixture moving, presumably to allow Barking to play Thursday as well against Nottingham. So I know Durham Caledonia was potentially an option next week, if that happens now or not, or if Durham have a continued wait till get through till what would be middle of February, they're talking perhaps before they can get a game in, which would be there's going to be a lot of games to play. And the worry is that if there's a couple of more COVID outbreaks, that we're going to struggle to get to a 20 league game season in just because there's not going to be enough dates because we've really only got 2 months of the regular season left, 2.5 months after we get back from the international break.
Caz, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the nature of what this season's going to look like that we're going to have situations like this, and teams in the league are making the best of what they can do with everything. So it's just something we're going to see, unfortunately. But yeah, hopefully they can catch up on games and get into a good position.
We saw the WBBL trophy tip off on Wednesday afternoon at 2:30-ish. London Lions advanced. They beat the Essex Rebels 83-69. Really solid performances from Kennedy Leonard and Chantal Charles. Leonard 18-4 and 8. Charles 9, 12 and 6. So super performances from those two in particular. Durham's roster reveal is going to be like the 30th entry in the Royal Rumble. You'll find out when they come out from the back, brother. That's maybe that's what we need more of. I want them to really ham it up. I want to have a buzzer go off every 2 minutes. Another player comes out. You'll have to see it.
Live stream team announcement from practice the day before the game.
Absolutely. I want pyro. I want every player to have their own Titantron. I want their own entrance music.
Oh, someone needs to clip this segment so I can send it to Lee. He'll laugh at that.
Well, Caz, that sounds like a job for Caz. I'm not going to lie to you. All right. I think that's pretty much everything then. Let's go to Caz's Corner. We still don't have a jingle. Rincon, Caz.
So let me give you some stats, and we can have stat line of the week. So obviously, it's not been too much going on in domestic leagues because of the EuroLeague and Euro Cup. There's been a few countries playing, but not focusing on that too much. I'm going to give you my 2 EuroLeague game stats and 1 Swedish domestic league game.
Wonder where that's come from.
Who knows? So you got to pick, right? So Janelle McCarville is playing in Sweden for Alvik. She was the WNBA's most improved player for New York Liberty in 2007. So, already got a good resume. She had 34 points on 12 of 18 shooting, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals, and an efficiency of 45 in a 5-point win. The team had an efficiency of 83. Okay, stat line 1. Stat line 2, Kayla McBride for Fenerbahce in a win, 26 points with 6 straight threes, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And it had to be Arike Gumbawale, 13 points in 3.5 minutes after going 0 of 7 for the whole game and winning because she scored 13 points in the last 3.5 minutes.
Well, you had me at Arike Gumbawale. You don't need to say anything more. You know who you're talking to right now.
Oh, so basketball only counts for 4 minutes, 10% of the game.
Listen. I'm not claiming that this is fair. I mean, it's right. But what I am saying is, it's Arike Gumbawale
over a 34-point, 45 efficiency game.
What was the margin of victory for her team?
5 points, and they were down, and they were down going to about 5 minutes left in the fourth.
I like it.
And when they were down, she had a plus minus of about 20.
I give it that her. Give it her. Can we give her the WNBL Player of the Week?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Janelle McCarville for Alvik.
I watched the game. It was incredible. It was. I mean, we can't forget. Like, it's hard to say you expect it because it was that dominant. We are talking a WNBA first overall pick here. Mm-hmm. Okay, she's 38 now. But yeah, she's great. She's won everything. She's won EuroLeague. I believe she's won the WNBA. Like, she's done everything. But it was one of the most ridiculous performances I've seen in person when I was watching a live game. It was insane. And yeah, fair play. Sometimes you just can't do anything. And the fact is, she's probably 6'2", 6'3", but she can do everything. Like, you're talking a true modern day center, passes behind the backs, brings the ball up at times. She's a fun player to watch. I'll say that much.
I'm not even reading that out. You can read that out. That blatant disrespect. Okay, that's disrespectful to Tim Tebow, minor league baseball's favorite son, Tim Tebow.
Good reference, Greg. Give him credit.
That's a good reference.
It's harder to do it all game.
And I'm going to need to know the strength of opposition. I'm going to need to know a lot more. That's it. Don't you worry. Just going to get an MVP before any player from Phoenix is. That's a fact. You can quote me on that when that happens. Magic, is there anything else? Oh, Caz, are we done in your corner? Are we still in Caz's corner?
No, we are done. We are done with that. I was just going to say we had news that Alyssa Thomas had surgery on her Achilles, which is obviously a rubbish injury, and how long that will take her to come back isn't known. So she might even miss the season, which is such a shame for her, for Connecticut, for USK Praha,
for us,
everyone, for basketball fans, because Alyssa Thomas is just incredible to watch, isn't she? So if she has to miss a season, that sucks. But maybe if she does have to miss a season, she can get them labrums sorted out, and she can just be like super healthy coming into 2022.
This is just false. David Beckham is such an underappreciated footballer, and we'll get into this another time.
I know. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
we all know.
She's like, I don't need arms, but I can't walk, so I suppose I have to have this surgery.
Yeah, it's. I was so close to emailing the press person back saying, did she get any work done on her shoulders? But I thought that's probably not going to get a good response. So I'll allow it.
Why not do it all at once? She's there. She's not really had the time to go to, have surgery before. Just get 3 in 1.
She's going to be on crutches for a bit, so she might need.
She might need those. Well, that's why she needs some. That's why she needs some labrums.
So obviously, we wish her the absolute strongest, fastest recovery possible for the Achilles injury, and then we'll see about those labrums as well. Like, my goodness, because I don't know if I can take another summer of being told about her shoulders.
I think I've missed hearing about them. I think that and the goat chat are my two.
Goat chat was a great idea, but
the execution of it.
The execution was it was great the first time. It was great the second time. The 20th time I heard Diana Taurasi go, bah, I might have been done.
I sent a clip of that to my friend with no context whatsoever, and she was just a bit like,
doesn't need it.
What am I doing with this?
By the way, Beck's bossed that whole game. Find me. David Beckham bossed many a football game. David Beckham is much more than what he's remembered for in terms of football. And we'll get into that another time, because this is not the time, not the place. But I'm here for it. I'm here for that conversation. All right. I think I was going to do it there because we've somehow descended into talk about David Beckham.
I was going to say, well, I suppose that is the disappointing thing, is that is the only WNBA news. As far as I'm aware, we've not even had a single free agency sign.
Sorry, yes, I was going to be snarky about free agency. There's been nothing. There has been zero happening.
I've not even seen many good rumours.
Someone's trying to start this terrible rumor about Candice Parker leaving LA, but that's not happening.
I heard through my contacts that Candice Parker is on her way. Chicago's in the running. Dallas. I mean, Dallas. No state tax in Dallas. I'm just saying. So yeah.
Well, depends if there's a season that's in a bubble or not. I suppose to that one, because they get charged where they play games, don't they? So
I suppose, yeah. That's a very good point. But like on a more serious note, no, there's not been anything going on in the WNBA free agency just yet. Not a huge surprise, given that free agency doesn't officially allow people to sign until the 1st. I expect to see or hear some stuff ramp up this week. But to all those people on Twitter saying, report free agency, we will. Everybody will. But there's just no to report right now. I don't know what you want to. We can make things up. We can lie.
It's not like the NBA free agency because it's got such a long. I mean, really, you could not sign a free agent until May and be fine.
Yeah.
Let's start happen and figure out what you need after the draft. In some cases, WNBA is a bit like baseball. It is one of those more long-winded free agencies rather than you see the NBA, you see NFL, that things happen like quickly. When free agency opens, the women's game is never really like that. Obviously, a lot of players, some players that are free agents are hurt right now or they're out in Europe. So talking with teams isn't really priority, especially with EuroLeague going on.
Yeah, and I mean that's the big thing. Also, somebody out there who I'm sure they meant it in a nice way, but they said, "Oh, Fenerbahce, they look like a WNBA team."
There was.
What's wrong with Amanda Zowie?
Run that back the other way.
Apart from the fact that she's hurt.
No, Greg loves Zowie B. I think this is positive. I think this is pro Zowie B chat.
Okay.
He's a Zowie B truther, is what we say. He absolutely loves Amanda Zowie B. It's from what we're going to see. He's going to get into it. He could have been here telling us about his hot Zowie B takes. So whilst we wait for Greg, Mikey, any final thoughts just on the world of women's basketball today?
No, but lightly, obviously, we've got the international break in a couple of weeks. So if GB would announce their squad, that would be wonderful, because I think that's the one unknown thing about the COVID situation over here. Obviously, 4 or 5 players of the GB squad are Mystics or Seven Oaks players.
Yeah.
So what their COVID situation is, obviously, we've said their team isn't playing, but obviously there's going to be on every team, even ones that carried on playing, there's going to be no teams 100% carrying on. They've got everyone saying we'll carry on. There's always going to be 1 or 2 that don't want to do it because their circumstances are different. And it could be that Sevenoaks and Mystics, so GB girls would have liked to have carried on, but the rest of the team have wanted to hold back and stuff. So that balance will be interesting to see the GB squad, because it's obviously a must-win game. So I assume by this time next week we'll have that squad, and it'll just be interesting to see what that looks like.
I wonder if we're going to see a lot Leicester Riders in that squad.
Well, again, it's how long their isolation is. If they've got a 2-week isolation from Tuesday,
of course. Sorry, yeah, I completely spaced. Yeah, of course. That's why
I think it's normally 10 days unless you tested positive yourself. So, depending on who is, hopefully Holly or Hannah will be fit enough if they're called up by Chema. So yeah, we'll just see how that evolves. And yeah, I think Nottingham Barking domestically next Thursday. I'm really looking forward to it. On paper, that's going to be a great game. So that'll probably happen before this. I don't know because it's only got arranged today, so I don't quite know what plans. But either way, I'll be watching the game, and that will be domestically a very good game. So want to keep an eye out locally.
Okay, well, if we need to start a petition, we will get Mikey on that game. Get him on all those games. You love to see it. You love to hear it. Caz, before we come to you for your roundup, Griner out, Zowie in is my early Crimbo present.
Ooh.
Greg. Yeah. If you can make that trade work, because we're sending Griner. Where are we sending Griner? We send it to Minnesota.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. So we're sending Griner to Minnesota. And
three-way trade.
Three-way trade. So what could go to Liberty that would make some kind of sense or be fun?
Fouls.
Parker.
No.
Yes, 14 trade. Perfect. Get Candice Parker in there.
No, that's not a trade. He's a free agent.
Oh, of course she is.
Sign and trade. But don't do that.
Sign and trade. Send Dangerfield to Los Angeles.
I don't do that.
No, that won't work.
No?
No.
I mean, it could work. You can make it work.
I mean, Candice Parker's not leaving, so this is all just, fun, isn't it? This is just...
All right, Caz, have you got any final points for today before we wrap up?
Just one, that it's looking like the Atlanta Dream are going to be sold soon, which is good news for everyone.
That is good news, because your owner's trash. Could end up moving though, which is interesting.
I feel like they won't. I feel like it would be a bit of a disservice to everything that the team have done, especially ousting that Senate seat there to then move them out of Georgia. I think that would. I don't know that would go down too well. It's obviously a possibility depending on who buys them, but I don't think it would be. I think likely to stay.
If they have to move, where would you put them? If you could put them anywhere, where would they go?
Oh, I'd put them back in Houston, just because I think the Houston Comets. But then, no, let me take that back. San Francisco or Oakland, if we have to move them. And then we'd restart the Houston Comets. If you don't want to buy a WNBA team and move it. You want to keep what we've got and just add to it.
Yeah, I would prefer them to stay in Atlanta. Maybe give them a new colorway.
What?
I don't
Oh.
love it. It's okay. I don't love it. Greg says Tennessee, Nashville, or Memphis. I mean, Nashville. The only pro sport in Nashville is the
Predators
team.
Well, no, we've got Tennessee Titans.
Oh, unless you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I don't pay attention to you. And that goes back to year 7. All right, so don't at me. All right, that's it. We're done. We're done here because I'm about to put my cold start. Right, you two, thank you so much for joining us as ever. Caz, thanks. Where can people find you on the social medias?
I love this question. It's my favorite question.
Why do you never know? What? How do you not know?
It's Hoopin Kazzy B on Twitter.
That'll do. If yeah. Mikey, where can people get a hold of you?
On here.
Okay. every Thursday, hopefully, or as many Thursdays as possible, live on the Caz and Daz show. You can find Mikey and his hot, spicy takes. I'm on Twitter at AuedsTouch, AuedsTouch, named after Luciano Aued, one of the finest footballers to ever play the game, who you've probably seen a picture of already, wearing the new beautiful Racing away basketball jersey, which I will be purchasing from Argentina. Thank you very much. 40 quid. Are you joking? I thought you were joking. I'll see you on Thursday.